All right, good morning, everyone. It is Tuesday, May 6th. We're taking a look at NASDAQ. We've got another gap lower this morning. NQ, for the most part, is in no man's land currently. Once that prior day low, which would be Monday's low, failed during the overnight session with that 20K level of interest right through there as well. Pretty much opened it up into a test of 19,700. Very similar to what we actually discussed yesterday as one of the potential scenarios. If you guys were in the live stream yesterday, you'll remember discussing this gray area right through here and what would happen if buyers actually failed to defend this zone, this 20K area. There's a 5 minute RTH chart. And now we're actually seeing, so here's that same zone, pretty much right through here. Now we're seeing that same scenario pan out. So, what I want to see for this morning for the open here is how this area is going to be treated. If price can get down into there, still about 90 points away. So ideally, we can get a push into that 700 area, maybe a bounce through there if buyers want to step in and defend. Expectations for today. It is pre FOMC, right? So yesterday, pretty slow. We talked about the very low volume. We can definitely see that again today, right? So we want to be keeping an eye on volume, making sure there's actually an audience in the market, making sure there's actually some decent volume. Got about 3 minutes till the open. So low expectations for this morning. We'll let price prove us incorrect. If it is actually gonna show us some decent action, we'll let price prove it. So that's the game plan here for this morning. As far as economic data, let's take a look. We do have a print right off the open, and we have another one at 10 a.m. Then 11:45. We have that White House meeting between US and Canada, so keep an eye out for that as well. That's at around noon, 11:45 a.m. So anything related to trade can definitely move the market. Comes out open in about 1 minute. Let's see. So session volume point and control 840. Overnight low currently 784. Prior day low way up there at 985. VWAP right near 900. Yeah, we definitely have a big gap this morning. All right, there's the open. So, like I said, NQ just in no man's land here. Gonna be staying patient. No push through the overnight low so far. Coming into that session volume point of control, 841. Let's take a look at this opening 5 minute bar. Still have that unfilled gap right through here. What was that from Thursday to Friday? NQ, there's session volume point of control. It's a decent push off the open. No position personally. Volume definitely better than yesterday, that's for sure. NQ coming back into session highs here about 845 or so. That's a session volume point of control. We got a nice push in ES, YM. So we got a market wide push here. Russell into VWAP. NASDAQ, there's your new high of day. Opening 5-minute bars, pretty strong. Yeah, it looks like buyers are liking this kind of near term area of support. We talked about that area yesterday. Not somewhere I personally want to set risk against, just based on the framework that I utilize. But not all that surprising to see buyers show up right there. Buyers still having some trouble here with this 850, 845 area session volume point of control. Volume now tapering down a bit. Yes, sir. No line, no trade. Pretty simple. Pretty simple approach. Takes discipline to actually follow, though. Takes discipline to not deviate from the framework, to not go into degen mode. Nice, Timmy. NASDAQ new highs. New highs coming for VWAP. Got ES into VWAP as well. A little uptick in volume there. Five minutes showing some decent follow through. Not much to do here personally. Staying patient. Staying patient. It's about 15 minutes into the morning. Still cash personally. Still cash. And Q overnight low held after a quick little blip below there. Right near that 19,800 area. Now we got some churn near the session volume point of control. Russell rejecting VWAP. Very slight new high of day right there on NASDAQ. Wakey, wakey. Wakey, wakey. A little uptick in volume there. Russell, that was a nice reject at VWAP now into session low. ES, pretty similar. Rejection at VWAP right there. So NQ, largely still in no man's land. Almost the highest volume of the sesh on that last 1 minute bar. See if we get a new low of day and then a full test of the 700. RTY, new low of day there. Data, I didn't have a 945 print on watch personally. Let's take a look here. You don't see any data actually. Not seeing any data there. NQ back into that 19800. It's a psychological level. We do have data in 10 minutes, 10 a.m. We got the 10 a.m. print. There it is. Let's see if we get that new low of day here. Got ES into the lows. NASDAQ not far behind. Russell and YM already there. Better volume here. There you go. New low of day. Now 19700 is on watch. That's better. That was the expected move there. See if we get a full test of 700. Now you have some good volume coming in. Yeah, the Arval tool. It's a nice addition to the arsenal. Nicole got that ESV WAP short. Nicely done. That's a big play. That is a big play. All right, we have about 6 minutes till 10 a.m. and data is still a cash morning on my end. Pretty much per plan here. So, like I said, want to see that reaction at 700. NASDAQ not quite there. Currently 755 or so. We got about 4.5 minutes till 10 a.m. NASDAQ, there's your retest of the overnight low, 784. Two and a half minutes till 10 a.m. with data. All right, let's see this. Let's see this data print. If we don't get the full test of 700, I'll be looking at the reaction here near the overnight low. Volume's decent. It's about average. Nothing to write home about. So NQ right back into the lows. If you're in that overnight low short, that's your target. There's your new low of day. And coming into that 700 area. You're in the short dom. Nice. That's a good call to trail before data. It's a good habit. NQ, nice spring right there. Nice little intraday spring. Let's see if we get the push through overnight low. That's the kind of setup I like right there. 10 a.m. reversal time. Got an intraday spring and a bullish backdrop versus an area that already showed prior strength. So, buyers are interested right there already. See if overnight low can hold right now. Back into 800. Good spot to trim. Yeah, close proximity to 700. Yep. Same page. Not quite there, but getting pretty close. The kicker was we saw buyers were interested in that 750 area. So there's some interest there. Backdrop bullish, bullish. See if the low holds now. But then you pair that idea with the intraday setup and then 10 a.m. reversal time, and you've got some confluences there for a pretty nice trade idea. So there's buyers trying to hold on to that overnight low. Start to bring that intraday fib, see where we're at. So fib sell zone right up here. So it looks like sellers stepping in at that 50% right there again. I got the trail actually down near the entry. I want to give this thing enough room to build out the structure if it is going to hold through here. So once price kind of breaks that 802, we can lift the trail to about 775. See one more little push here up through the 50% fib, that 800 area, 801, 802 area. There you go. So you can raise the trail now. Trail's at 777. We continue to ride. This will be a tricky spot here, a fib sell zone. That being said, it is bullish backdrop. So trading is just weight of the evidence. Buyers kind of have the advantage now. See if we get a break of 808 here. I like to lift it into 790. Now, a little higher low at the overnight low was decent for a scalp there, Dom. But yeah, I don't blame you for trailing tight. Look at the volume. Volume has really come out of this market. It's maybe a one and done kind of day. We'll see if the trail gets taken right here. Need a push up and through that 808 fib sell zone. There you go. Nice little lift. Break the 808, lift the trail to 783. There you go. Lift that trail. See if we go session highs now. There's the 61% fib. It's a nice push. I'm going to go ahead and bring it up to just beneath 800 here. This is where it starts to get tricky with trade management. You have a nice extension move. Don't want to give back too much, but you want to let it breathe for that upside target of session highs and VWAP. So that target's still about 25 points higher with my trail right near 19,800. It's about 25 points of risk. So it's about a 1-to-1 still. Now this little microstructure may give me another higher low to lift it. There you go. So we lift the trail just beneath 810 now. We just keep riding. Keep riding. It's not a bad trade. NQ coming into session volume point of control here. Remember that backdrop was bullish. Coming into a key area of support with 10 a.m. reversal time. And just a beautiful intraday spring setup. I may get trailed here. May get trailed. There we go. Buyers back in, break 835. We lifted a little more to about 815. There it is. Lift the trail. It's nice when price makes it easy for you. Tell you that. I got my exit sitting at about 855. We're getting super close. I'm in a trail bar by bar now. Otherwise, the the R multiple becomes a little too unfavorably skewed there. Let's see if they just go ahead and take it out right here. Let them have it. Let them have it. Right there, we're out. There we go. What do we do? 80 points there? Not bad. It's not bad. May have trailed a bit tight, but it's going for just shy of the session high, right around VWAP, where I expect sellers to kind of pop up again, like right through here. And so the point I was trying to make is that if you have your trail way down here, your upside is there. As price starts to push, this is kind of what is happening to your R multiple. It's like, oh, you're going to risk an extra 40 points now for 8 points of upside. If that's your thing, then so be it. But to me, that makes no sense. So kind of tighten the trails as price gets into the target. Tighten the leash a little bit. In this case, it looks like the trail actually panned out in my favor. There we go. I was getting ready for another trailed to the tick type of situation, but not the case today. Session volume point of control seller stepping back in right there. So now it's a little trickier, kind of back into no man's land. I know that big area of support is held so far, but do you want to establish new longs way up here? Not really. And Q coming into session high now. Getting into that session high. YM new high of day. ES just shy of the highs. Yeah, pretty much everything coming into the highs. NASDAQ new high of day. There it is. There it is. There's final target for that spring setup. Love to see it. See what else we got here. Staying patient now. Don't want to overdo it pre FOMC. We got to remember FOMC is tomorrow. All right, NASDAQ, pretty nice push here. Pretty nice push. Good volume. Not much to do personally, so just staying patient. How's the morning for everyone? How we doing? So next upside reference point is going to be prior day low. It's way up there, 985 with that 20K level of interest as well. NQ right now bumping into 19,900. A little bit of a psychological level. Green, red, green, green. There we go. Albert, no chasing? Yes, sir. Wait for the setup. Wait for the setup. Don't need that fib anymore with this thing just pressing the highs. ES coming into 5650 level of interest. Some selling there at the 900. A little uptick in volume. And just gets totally absorbed by buyers. NQ right back into the highs there. So far, the technical picture panning out quite nicely. So what we had written up in the pre-market prep notes and kind of discussed here at the start of the stream was the gap lower. You likely want to see sellers show some continuation into this zone where buying activity can be expected. Now, price did not get fully in there, but it is a bullish backdrop, so not all that surprising to see a little bit of front running from buyers. Now you got the bounce. So bullish backdrop remains intact for now. Structure holds pretty nicely. I wouldn't expect price to leave this kind of new near-term range here ahead of tomorrow's FOMC. But we'll see how the day progresses. "30-minute bar closes up in 2 minutes. Big bullish engulfing there. at least right now. Yeah, NQ just kind of in no man's land here. No man's land. Now you can bring that fib back. Intraday fib. See what this next 30-minute bar brings. Might be an early morning though. Might be a one and done. One and done. Good old one and done. Prior day high to session low 900 is a 38% fib. Let's see. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, Dom. All right, I think I'm gonna go ahead and call it right there. NASDAQ just in no man's land, so I don't really want to press my luck ahead of FOMC with poor trade location. Be keeping an eye on the intraday structure, but I'd be primarily interested in how price responds to the 20K level of interest. It's going to be the main target here for this move if we look at the higher time frames. Kind of like we talked about a couple minutes ago. So with the bullish backdrop, you can look for some intraday non-A plus entries if that's your thing. If you want a piece, personally though, ahead of FOMC, I think it's better just to sign off. The other consideration would be a retracement, maybe into VWAP, maybe into session volume point of control. I'd be cautious with the shorts personally, just based on the backdrop and the fact that that higher time frame support did hold. But main point for today is definitely not the day to be overdoing it. FOMC is tomorrow. So one and done on my end. Keep it going here in the Traders Think Tank. If anything else happens, hope you guys had a good morning. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out. Otherwise, we will see you tomorrow morning. Have a great rest of your day.